people of YouTube! I'm Shoko, and today we're watching I'm Sorry by Caddicarus or Caddicarus. Let's see what this is about.
Hello. If you don't know me, I'm Caddy. Nice to meet you. And if you do know me, I'm sorry. You see, back in December 2020, I uploaded my final video of the year and then decided to take off some time in January to hang out with my girlfriend and her kids, help them out with online virtual schoolwork, start construction on an outdoor studio and green screen room, and do some streaming to tide everybody over until my next video was ready to release in February. But there was just one thing stopping me from doing this. My gaming laptop was starting to struggle a little bit with streaming and recording gameplay footage for the next video, which meant I needed to do something about it. What I didn't realize, though, was that this single decision would start the biggest domino chain of pain I've ever seen in my entire video making.
Hang on. So, why use a laptop though? Why not use a desktop? Wouldn't that be better and last longer and be able to upgrade? I feel like this might be related or correlating with a desktop or PC related incident.
Career, where every single piece that fell sent a shockwave of bad luck across my life that was so huge I was left a quivering old man begging my grandchildren to come and see me, completely unaware that they were all dead because I killed them and I just forgot about it because I'm old. Yes, ladies and gents, I needed to
build a PC!
And it was horrible. I hated it. It sucked. I don't understand the appeal, I never want to do it again in my life, and this is now how I feel about PC gaming. What? But Caddy, what? How could you even say that? PC gaming is bliss. PC gaming is the way. PC gaming is pretty cool. And you know what? That may be true. I love PC gaming. In fact, I do it more than consoles, and I do them on the regular. But as you will soon come to see in this video, the process of me getting to that nirvana was not without a few cuts, bruises, tears, blood, lost fingers, and broken dreams. This video's title is not clickbait, and everything you're about to see and hear is 100% true. You want to know the reason there hasn't been a video from me in months? It is all because of this confounded infernal thing, and it has caused me so much grief and so much stress on top of everything else that's happened to me over the last few weeks. I just had to turn lemons into lemonade and make a video talking about all of it together for my own sanity, if nothing else. Yes, this lolloping great dishwasher has given me enough content for a goddamn storytime video. PC building sucks. I'll say it, and I don't care if I'm in the minority on this. None of this
PC building is just like adult Lego.
Yeah, right. Remember the last time you spent £2,000 on one leg of a Bionicle, and if you didn't put it on properly, the leg caught fire and melted the Bionicle's 900...
I mean, not gonna lie though, Legos are expensive. Just to get a whole set or a box, they're pretty pricey too.
£100 face. Building a PC was one of the most stressful, time-consuming, and expensive things I've ever done. And this isn't even including the issues I've had with time and finances with trying to get the studio set up, and the other PC problems I've had.
I mean, why not let someone else build it if you don't have the money? Yeah, or pre-build. Go to an expert that will build it. I know some places such as Best Buy, you just have to have the stuff, or you can buy the stuff at their store and they'll build it there for you. It works. You don't want to cry about it or deal with so much pain about it. I crash out though.
And unrelated to this build that have left me totally unable to create anything.
All I wanted was to make nicer videos for all of you!
Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Here's why.
I don't recommend building PCs because they're pieces of shit, actually.
And let's start at the very beginning.
You know, one thing too is the best troubleshooting option for a PC whenever you deal with, like, you know, basic problems. If you just try turning it off and then turning it back on, all your problems are solved for some reason, or just going through the diagnostics for it. They released the full diorama of Minster from Lord of the Rings, and it's... Wait, is that over 100,000? It's a bit pricey normally, but why the need to build it yourself? Exactly.
So it's around the 13th of January. I'm having a sit alone in my house. Well, actually, I wasn't alone, but I live with children, so I wish I was. And I realized I had no idea what I was doing when it came to building a new PC. So I called up my very good friend, Low Spec Gamer, who's from Spain, which means he...
Wait, what did it say about him? I went too far.
...doing when it came to building a new PC. So I called up my very good friend, Low...
This is how I'll draw him when... And if I draw him...
Spec Gamer, who's from Spain, which means he... likes paella. This dude, by the way, is a master when it comes to PCs and PC building. His whole YouTube channel is about running the latest games at the lowest specs possible. So everything that happens in this story is not his fault. Anyway, we started talking and I described exactly what kind of PC I needed to build and at what budget, so that he could tell me which parts would be best, what is compatible with what, and then point me in the right direction on where to buy it all.
Issue 1.
In this current climate, finding any PC parts at all is harder than pissing into your own mouth. Our initial idea was to build a PC with an NVIDIA RTX 3080 graphics card, Ryzen 9 5950X processor, Asus Prime X570p motherboard, Corsair Obsidian 750D case, 850-watt power supply, 2TB solid-state drive, Blu-ray drive, Noctua NHD15 cooling fan, and 32GB of core...
Honestly, they all don't seem bad. I mean, Corsair is pretty decent, I would say. Asus is really good too. Ryzen... AMD is my favorite though. Intel has been doing really well too, honestly. If you really want like a budget PC, you could go for Intel and you could still get the same level and at the same level as good as AMD or other types of processors.
Corsair.
Dedicated wham.
All of these parts weren't too difficult to obtain, but the 3080 and Ryzen 9? Woof. I spent around 3 to 4 days of checking every reputable website I could every single hour to see what the stock situation was like, because don't forget, boys and girls, don't trust stock alerts, use your clock alerts, or
Life lesson. Oh yeah.
else you'll regret it to let it. I managed to grab myself the
Hey, got the AMD.
processor, but the graphics card was just not available anywhere I looked. The only places stocking them being scalpers on eBay who were selling a £650 graphics card for around £1,700. And bollocks if I was giving that to any old Johnny. It was coming up to the 19th of January and there was still no sign of any 3080s after a week of searching. So with time running out for me to start streaming again and start recording the console footage in time for my February video, I made the decision to start looking for the next graphics card up, the 3090. Not only way more powerful, but more importantly, it retailed for basically the same price brand new as the resellers' prices of the 3080 were. Plus, since it's more expensive by default, it was a little bit easier to find, and so within a day...
Yeah, I was actually looking at that one because I was wondering if I should get it. Especially with the price it was at. The 3090.
Prices of the 3080 were. Plus, since it's more expensive by default, it was a little bit easier to find, and so within a day, I had all the parts I needed on the way.
Issue 2.
All of this is bloody expensive. Before doing anything, I had already spent £1,700 on the 3090, £800 on the Ryzen 9, £160 on the motherboard, £140 on the case, £150 on the power supply, £320 on the 2TB SSD, £100 on the Blu-ray drive, £80 on the fan, £170 on the 32GB.
My brother, just buy a pre-built at this point. Buy a used one at that point and just upgrade. What the heck? No, that's a lot.
Dedicated wham.
£150 on the monitor, and £10 on additional cables and anti-static bands for my hands. Otherwise, if I touched any of these parts during the creation of the PC, I would have turned into a hot air balloon. This already totaled to £3,780. For all of you Americans out there, you can convert it yourself. So there we go. I found all the pieces, they were all shipping as fast as they could, and the PC would be up and running in a few days' time. What could possibly go wrong?
Everything went wrong? What do you mean everything went wrong?
And the PC would be up and running in a few days' time. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, this part too. Okay.
Immediately the next day, I got sent the wrong disk drive. Instead of a loose writable Blu-ray drive, I was given a portable DVD player.
Oh,
I'm not
no.
kidding. I quickly got all of that squared up and sorted with Amazon, after which I got what I actually ordered 2 days later. But then there was something else. The cooling fan I ordered on the 15th was supposed to get to me on the 20th, but it never arrived. And after tracking it to see what happened, I discovered that not only was the parcel never even sent out, but it actually was sent out and was sent immediately back to the sender because I refused to accept the delivery. None of this added up, so I called the company and basically asked, so... where's my fan? And I was told on the other end that because of the European company I ordered from were physically unable to get it past customs. The fan never even left the continent it was coming from and got sent back to their warehouses straight away.
I'm so glad we voted for a better Britain.
No big deal, I ordered the fan from another site and a few days later it arrived, along with the graphics card and slowly but surely everything else. The 24th rolled around and it was time to jump on a webcam with Low Spec Gamer and build the thing.
The bill.
Considering this was the first time I'd ever built a PC entirely on my own, it did take a few hours, but the first day went surprisingly well, with me pointing the camera at different places of the motherboard and Low Spec Gamer talking about how much he loves eating tortilla de papas. I managed to plug everything into the right slot, screw everything
I was filming for a Low Spec Gamer for a project he was working on. Oh, yeah. I got a similar specs for mine, but it's a pre-built and it cost me 1,700. Exactly. Yeah, super high-end PC is like 6,000 pounds, so his number's super high for his specs. Yeah. Definitely playing and doing a lot of heavy stuff on that PC.
into the right place, glue the cooling system to the processor with thermal paste, while making sure I was wearing anti-static bands, otherwise all of these immensely expensive components can break immediately if you so much as touch it. Isn't that a kettle of fish? And we managed to get to a point where everything
It's because of the grounding. You need the grounding.
was installed and plugged into a monitor, but it was all sitting on top of the box the motherboard came in outside of the PC case, just in case something was wrong with any of the parts before we committed to putting it inside the case. I turned the power on by short-circuiting the motherboard with the end of a screwdriver, which was horrifying. Lots of pretty glowing fans started glowing and fanning.
Oh, footage from
Screwdriver, which was horrifying. Lots of pretty
footage from the Gear Seekers. It looks so nice, but RGB will add up.
glowing
No wonder.
fans started glowing and fanning. We managed to get a signal up on the monitor, the BIOS menu popped up, and none of my USB keyboards or mice were working. For all of those unaware, the BIOS is basically the central nervous system of the PC and dictates how it turns on, off, and what settings the entire PC uses at its absolute base level. So yeah, a pretty important shit that I couldn't access. We spend the rest of the day troubleshooting with multiple forums online and figure out it's probably because the motherboard itself, the skeleton of the PC connecting all the parts together, was unable to read the 32GB of
Dedicated.
I had purchased, and that was conflicting with the USB device reading, meaning no keyboard and mouse, meaning we couldn't get any further. So we both come to the agreement that I should order a smaller single stick of 8GB RAM that was from the official motherboard compatibility list, even though the other RAM should have been compatible with it anyway, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. That costed me an extra £35. It'll all be here tomorrow. We'll revisit it in the morning. Then I went to sleep, and I dreamed of being a
Hold up. So, because he initially said he spent 3,700 something pounds, plus the 300 he just spent to get RAM. That's like $4,000. Huh? Well, 4,000 pounds. More than that for dollars.
awake. Then I woke up. The RAM arrived later that afternoon, and me and Low Spec Gamer jumped on another call to test it all out. And nope, wasn't having any of it. So then we move on to the next theory. Could it be the SSD? Is that a little bit damaged? Is that bad? Shall we try unscrewing it? Yeah, Low Spec, that's a great idea! No. As it turned out, after another entire day of troubleshooting online, it turned out that the BIOS software itself was too outdated for the ultra-powerful processor I was using to run it. And the only way that I could update it was to unscrew the processor, clean all of the thermal paste off of it and the cooler, boot it up with an older generation processor that was screwed and pasted in, get into the BIOS screen, update everything, turn it all off, unscrew the older gen processor, clean all the thermal paste off of it and the cooler, put the one I meant to use back in, making sure it was screwed and pasted in, and then we could continue on, set up the BIOS, and then stick it in the case and install Windows 10. By the way, in order to do any of this, I needed to wait another day because I needed to order an older gen processor, the only one available at the time being a Ryzen 5 2600 at
another 160 pounds. Wow, literally, so he bought RAM that was not compatible. He bought a lot of things that weren't compatible. I like where his head was at, right? He said, oh yeah, I want the best, highest specs possible, but then downgrading every single time to meet the standards so then they can all be compatible and actually work well together. Ooh.
£160.
Putting it in the case.
Original processor was put back in, we tested everything, got into the BIOS, and voila, we were good to go. So it was now time to unplug most of it, stick everything into the case, and plug all the other necessary cables in, while Low Spec celebrated with some pantumaka. Again, it took me over an hour, seeing as it was my first time and I was doing it over camera and I was being careful, but I eventually made it. So I plugged in the power supply, hooked everything up to a monitor, pressed the power button, and... nothing.
Oh no!
Absolutely nothing happened. No glowing, no whirring, not even any fanning. The whole thing was dead, like the love from my father. I was destaticked, everything was in the correct place and connected, no screws were too tight or too loose, there was no metal touching the underside of the motherboard that was causing a short circuit. It just wasn't having any of it.
He's got some crazy bad luck. What the heck? Like, it's bad luck and not enough research all mixed into one and intertwined. I never had this problem when I built my first PC, honestly. Let me just throw everything in there and hope it works. Yeah. Yeah, let me just use water coolant real quick, even though it's fan-based. He was building skill issues. Yeah.
So what do you think I had to do? I uninstalled everything.
Oh, no.
We took it apart piece by piece from the case and set it back up how it was when it was a naked lump of mechanical organs. And that's when we discovered something terrifying. No matter what we did, no matter what switch we flicked or motherboard pin we shorted with the end of a screwdriver, including those pins that reset the motherboard and the BIOS.
This was from a previous CMOS restart. Honestly, just get a new motherboard. I feel like the biggest problem is the motherboard.
The motherboard itself was absolutely fried.
Yeah.
No power was going to it at all. And it wasn't the power supply either, because I did this trick where you put a bent over paperclip into different ends of a wire that's connected to
Footage from Overclockers Club.
it, and then you turn it on to trick it into working. It was really scary and my house nearly burned down. So at this point there was nothing else I could do other than order another motherboard.
Yeah.
This time going for an MSI MEG X750 Unify at an extra £260. Buying an advanced model with actual power and reset buttons so I didn't need to short with a screwdriver just to be safe. Side note, at this moment in time, my partner Caddicarus' work laptop for editing videos on Patreon and doing schoolwork with
Exactly. Just go to an actual shop or store and have people build it up for you or whatever. Tell them exactly what your requirements and specs are, and you would probably save more money doing that than buying more stuff, adding more into your inventory of PC items that you're gonna end up not needing or not using. I mean, yeah, you can resell it, but just the headache of dealing with building a PC, that continues to be a problem. Maybe you should have just gone to someone. Me, man, no need to do this.
with the kids also decided to break, as programs kept randomly opening and closing, seizure-inducing effects plagued the screen whenever opening a file, and eventually any mouse you plugged in refused to work, including the touchpad one, meaning that we not only lost all of our work for a Patreon-only video that needed to be done by the end of January, but also meant that Caddicarus had to take my backup gaming laptop for all of her work, meaning that I had no choice but to get this problem fixed, or I had no way of recording or streaming anything at all. January 31st rolled around, and I was already fully accustomed to the inner workings of my PC. In fact, I knew it better, undressed than in clothes, and I was able to unplug everything from the old motherboard and install it into the new one with no help from Low Spec Gamer at all. Everything worked for me, so I thought, hey, I'm gonna give it a shot. I opened my case, put the PC inside, screwed, plugged, switched it on, and oh my god, it finally works! Hallelujah! We even managed to install Windows on it and everything when he joined in on a call later on that day. Sure, I needed to buy a single key for Windows 10 Pro for an extra £20, but who cares? It's all working now. Everything's installed. Time to get all of my programs I need and start setting up for streams and gameplay recording.
Yeah.
February.
Oh no, black screen?
All of my programs I need and start setting up for streams and gameplay recording.
The black screen reboot saga? No! I thought everything became successful. You were so right. Buy secondhand. Half broken parts still works for half the probable price. Yeah, you could literally just change out bits and pieces and upgrade or replace anything that was broken and get your money's worth.
February the 3rd creeps up. I'm already days behind on this video, but I'm plowing through regardless until that happened. All of a sudden, I'm physically unable to do anything at all because the damn computer won't stop randomly cutting power entirely and then rebooting like nothing happened. And I don't mean like Windows was going into a shutdown or restart sequence. I mean the entire system just seemed to cut all power and boot right back up again. This happens so frequently that this was the crash log I sent to a few friends of mine after only the first 3 days of use. And the worst thing was that Windows wouldn't tell me anything about these crashes. There were no causes listed, no values or error numbers. It would just run along like and then stop. And not only were there no error codes, but there was also no consistency or pattern behind what was happening. I could be playing Neo at maximum 4K 60 FPS settings for over an hour and be totally okay, but as soon as I opened up my emails, goodbye! It would crash when I was writing documents, crash when I opened Chrome, crash when a YouTube video loaded, crash when I opened Windows settings, crash when I opened Steam, crash when I closed Steam, crash when I started recording gameplay footage, crash when I stopped recording gameplay footage, but it never happened reliably all the time. It was absolutely random when it decided to do this. I had every single graphics driver updated, Windows itself was fully updated, even the BIOS was fully updated, but no dice. I was at the whim of the black screen.
Which sounds like a pretty epic episode of Black Mirror.
And so, with no leads to go on, we now had to deal with the best bit of PC building diagnosis. Taking every single piece out again, testing them for damage, seeing if they work individually, and process of eliminating our way through each component until we had an assumption of what could be causing this mysterious cut, aside from the barber. First, we thought that the motherboard reset switch was being activated by accident, since the crash reboots behaved identically to if I would have pressed the reset switch. Turn it off, open the case, unplug the reset switch, everything works for 3 hours, crash. Next up, we thought that it could have been the graphics card and processor were just too powerful for the 850 watt power supply, and I was getting dangerous surges, meaning the computer turned itself off to stay safe. So in that scenario, I ordered myself an Asus 1000 watt power supply for £180 just to be safe.
The add-ons every single time! At this point! There are people who play with PCs made with duct tape.
Days later, it arrives, so I dismantle the PC, rehook every power cable imaginable to the new power supply, and switch the cables over just in case they were the problem, put it all back together, booted it up, and then, oh my god, we've now got nothing on the screen at all. And even better, a nice red light lit up on the motherboard. What on earth could this mean now? Actually, as it turns out, it's because one of the GPU plugs was a little bit loose. That was my fault. I'm really sorry. But hey, we're back. No problems here, so it was time for me to record more gameplay footage. I managed to get about 4 hours done, and as soon as I clicked stop recording after a 45-minute recording session, it crashed again, meaning I lost all of that footage entirely, and the problem still wasn't fixed. Next up, we thought it could possibly have been a bad batch of... Since all of these crashes seemed to happen during certain programs loading that are heavy on RAM usage. So I ordered yet more 32 gigabytes of RAM from HyperX instead of Corsair, adding another £190 to my...
Throwing so much money to not even be sure if all this is compatible or works well with the PC is next level deranged. It's like the Lulu on Max right now. If something doesn't work, throw it away and buy everything new. Replay it, redo
Parker
it.
Anonymous 21 followed.
expenditure for the evening. Next day, I took the PC apart, uninstalled the processor by unscrewing it and cleaning the paste again because the cooling system was too big and covered all the RAM slots, swapped the RAM out, repasted and screwed everything back in with the processor and the cooling, booted up Windows, go to open up my streaming software Streamlabs OBS to see if I can set it up for a stream later, and I know. It's also around this time
It's the crash outs for every single time. Thank you so much for the follow.
that my office PC, where I create all of my videos, write them, edit them, and all of that jazz, started making this noise whenever I used it. For any non-PC experts out there, it shouldn't be doing that. And the video output socket started breaking, meaning I had no dual monitors, altogether meaning that video editing for me would be impossible. So, do you know what that means? Yes, I need another office computer. And even though I have enough spare PC parts here to build another one from scratch and put wheels on it so I can race it in NASCAR, I felt like I was cursed, so I decided to go pre-built.
Yeah.
So then I find myself a pre-built one online, and it fits all the specs that I need. I stick it in the website's basket, go to the checkout, pay extra for next day delivery. The next day comes, and nothing arrives. Okay, fine, I get it. The virus...
Wait, so he has technically 3 PCs in the same month span. That's crazy. Dululu PC Builder? The US military maintenance policy, throw money until fixed.
virus is still out there, deliveries aren't as quick, so I left it another day, and still... nothing arrived. As quick as a flash, I checked in on the status of my order on my online account and discover that it hasn't even left their warehouse yet. So I decided to call them up and go, "Hey, assholes! What have you done with my bloody book?" Okay, I didn't say that. Be nice to retail employees during a pandemic, you dick. And that's when I was told that the pre-built model I ordered wouldn't be ready until the following month. So then I asked, "Then why did your website tell me it was in stock and would be here tomorrow?" And then they said... Obviously, I understand and sympathize with all of these companies trying to work during the corona, but unfortunately that's just too long of a wait for me to keep YouTube happy with the state of my channel, and I wasn't told it was going to be a month late until I chased the company myself, so I cancelled that order before the money could be taken out my account and spent the rest of the day looking everywhere for a PC that meets my specs and wouldn't take 4 years to get here, which I eventually find after only 3 hours of searching, and the quickest way it would get here was a week from then, which isn't ideal and puts my video work behind even more, but whatever, it's the best I can do at that moment. By the way, including express shipping, that added another £2,600 onto my special jackpot prize fund. Wanna go for a double jeopardy and risk it all for a...
7,000?
By the way, including express shipping, that added another 2,000...
7,000 is crazy! That's some insane disposable income.
£1,600 onto my
never
special
seen that
jackpot
move.
prize fund. Wanna go for a double jeopardy and risk it all for a brand new Toyota RAV4? And by the way, add on the cost of 2 other brand new monitors, since the ones I was using before started color bleeding around the edges and needed to be scrapped. But the new monitors got here and they turned out to have the worst possible black coloring I've ever seen in a monitor. Yes, I went into every setting imaginable for my computer and the monitors themselves and couldn't improve it, meaning that for video editing they were absolutely useless, meaning I had to send them back and order even more that were good. And the funny thing is, the reason I ordered these particular monitors was because they were the same company that made the other monitor that I'm using for the PC that I'm building myself, which I know is a great monitor. But when I got that monitor, that was the last one in stock, meaning that I got another model of monitor from that company in order to get it to my house quicker. And taking aside the money I spent for the first monitors, because I'll get a refund very shortly, these dual monitors alone added on £300 to my total. And I still haven't fixed the first PC yet. At this point, me and Low Spec Gamer were absolutely stumped, so I was taking hints and tips from basically anybody on social media because nobody had any damn clue what was going on. Then my friend Devi Brown suggested I buy myself a £15 wall socket tester to see if there were any wiring problems in the wall where my PC was plugged in. Spoiler alert, there was no problem. Some lovely chap suggested I take the graphics card out and try my old PC's one, which I did, and that didn't fix the problem. Someone else suggested it was too much static electricity plenty around the PC itself, so I moved it around the living room, and that didn't fix the problem. I tried benchmarking, temperature checks, power saving settings, BIOS tweaking, RAM speed altering, turning on XMP so the RAM dictates its own speed, letting the entire BIOS run everything automatically as it sees fit, but whatever I did, nothing worked. Oh, and get your birthday hats on and your party horns full of spit, because we've also just hit the total amount of money I have spent to this day on sodding computers. £7,540, aka over $10,000. Add that in with the few thousand the studio space costed me during all of this, and together that brings us to a total of no winter coats for my children in the snow pounds, and no dinner either pence. And that's when, all of a sudden, when all hope seemed lost, we hit a breakthrough. It's the 15th of February, and there's one error that we completely forgot to look into, which happened all the way back on the 3rd. And because it only popped up one time, and then we totally ignored it because it seemed to fix itself, we then thought, what if that was the problem the entire time? Windows hasn't loaded correctly. Oh my god, that means... that must mean... it's a Windows 10 problem. Oh my god. All I need to do is format my drives, reinstall Windows, and the problem is fixed. Christ almighty, we are home free. Yes. Delete the partitions, clear out everything, start afresh. I've got a cool house, and you can tell it's cool because it's got brand new windows. Yeah, that didn't work either, so I went to bed at 4:30 a.m. extremely pissed off.
The cruel twist.
I wake up late, a little bit groggy. I take a shower, and I say to myself, okay, sure, I've got a dodgy PC, so even though I can't record any more gameplay for now, at the very least I can continue scripting by watching the stuff that I've already recorded. Then it dawned on me, and my heart lodged up into my throat. I formatted the PC, and in my haste and desperation with everything going wrong, in a brief moment of careless thought and overwhelming stress, I forgot to back up any of my video files. So I lost it all. 18 hours of recorded gameplay footage. Gone.
No, that's the worst. No. Oh no.
Forever. I tried drive recovery and everything else you can think of, but nope, it all got lost. Which means, after all of this time, I've got half of a script finished, and I'm back where I began with...
Guess who recorded 18 hours of game footage for the next video, forgot to back it up, and then reinstall Windows in an attempt to fix my PC issues? This guy.
everything else, but minus $10,000. PC building. You want to know where the hell I've been this year, or where my regular videos have gone? That is why. PC Master Race my ass. I think I'm gonna go and play a console. Oh wait, I can't even do that because my brand new Xbox controller that I just bought has a broken shoulder button.
Part 34 on everything. No caddy buys breaks immediately. Anyone got a fix for the shit cannot be ours to send back unless I really need to. Button works, but this noise is enough to drive you to drown a man.
Screw this, I don't need any of this new shit. I'll play all of my games and edit my videos on the Nintendo GameCube. Piss. This picture is me. This is exactly me as I record this credit sequence audio that you're hearing right now. None of the audio that you've heard through the whole of this video, but just this ending portion here. The date is March the 9th, and literally about an hour ago, my office editing PC arrived with special thank you to Level Up Gaming, who, despite everything going on in the world right now and all the parts that you can't find anywhere online and all of that stress and everything, customer service was phenomenal. Their delivery time was really quick despite everything that's been going on right now. So if you live in the UK, you want a PC built, highly recommend Level Up Gaming. Their link is in the description below. I'm recording this audio, by the way, on the spare gaming laptop, which Keris is now using for Patreon video production and her own work with the school, with the kids and everything, with remote learning and such. As I speak, everything with the streaming and gaming PC appears to be completely okay. I think I've ironed out the kinks. I think I figured out what the problem is. I think only time will tell, and I'm sure with a couple of streams that I'm planning on doing later on, you'll be able to figure that out as well. You'll see with me the results of my labor, but Either way, my office PC is more important because that means I can get back to making videos, and I have been able to start creating my newest Caddicarus video in the entire time while this video was being made. It is not the same video I was originally working on with the 18 hours of gameplay footage that I lost because I just couldn't bring myself to go back through all of those games again. So I decided to start an entirely new and fresh video idea. I hope that that's okay with you guys, and I'm sorry that it's taken so long. Thank you for your patience, but I'm sure you can understand why that is. And of course, this video would not have been possible whatsoever without the incredible work of the animator Boy My Life. That dude has been an immense machine. I have no words. I'm amazed with how the final product came out and how quickly he was able to do it. All of his links to his YouTube channel, his social media, all of that stuff is in the description below. Commission him for things, go and see the kinds of videos he makes. The dude is an incredible talent, and I mean, depending on what you guys thought about this video, maybe I can make this a more regular series, just talking about bits and pieces of life. I mean, I've got stories, and he can make them incredibly interesting to watch as I talk about them. So let me know how you felt about this video in the comments, and maybe we could work together again in the future. And just before I go, a special thank you to every name that you have been seeing on the screen right now who have been supporting me on Patreon. And despite all of my painful updates and my agonizing apologizing for everything being delayed and no videos coming out on any front and everything, they have been there from day one, from scratch, never left, just the most loyal, supportive Patreon supporters I could have ever wished for. And all of these names that you're seeing are people that have been supporting ever since January, ever since the start of the year, because I haven't had a chance to put them in credits or thank them in general until now. So yeah, that's why the credits are so long. This is 3 months worth of people that deserve a massive thank you. So yeah, there we go. Thank you everybody for watching this video, and I will see you in the next Caddicarus very soon.
That was so good. Honestly, very entertaining. I love the animation style. The art was so good and smooth. I know the struggles though. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Bye-bye.